What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are currently on the test server, guys. Today we're going to have a look at the new sensation, the new defense-based champion, the new Dracomorph Slayer, because it feels like he wears Dracomorph as a cape, man. I feel bad for our poor Dracomorph. Does that mean that Plarium is taking Dracomorph out of the meta completely? I know the new stages on dungeons kind of like killed him all around, but he's still useful in clan boss and other areas. And I feel like this Staltus Dragonbane just uses Dracomorph as a cape and a helmet. Not very fun. Poor Dracomorph. Basically, this is a defense-based champion, guys, with pretty solid multipliers. He is a Force Affinity Bannerlord. That's kind of like my only complaint, the affinity for this champion. If this would have been Magic, Void, Spirit, it was gonna be much better all around. Now, what exactly can we get out of this champion? As base stats, he is pretty good, 20k HP, almost 1.5k defense, and he starts with 63% crit damage. No other defense nuker starts like that. I can't remember Ragash 100%, honestly. I know for sure that Solus, he starts with 50. And I'm pretty convinced that Ignatius starts with 50, and even Ragash starts with 50. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, this champion could potentially be an amazing nuker. If we're gonna go quickly over his kit, on the A1 attacks one enemy 2 times, 2 books only. If the target is under any debuffs, each hit decreases the target's turn meter by 10%. Of course, the damage is based on defense. The A2 attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 65% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. I feel like Plarium is shocking me every single time with this. 65%, where did you even took this out? You took it out of the pocket. It's always either 75%, 100%. This time around we went for 65%, because why not? Pretty freaking odd. The next skill places an increased defense buff on this champion for 3 turns, then attacks all enemies. Has a 75% chance of placing a decreased crit damage for 2 turns on enemies whose attack is higher than defense, 100% if it's spooked, and 100% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns on enemies whose attack is equal to or lower than their defense. So tankier champions will actually get decreased speed, while DPSers will get decreased crit damage. Of course, it kind of like depends if he's a defense-based nuker or an attack-based nuker. The good part about it is that he's putting increased defense on himself. That goes on a 4-turn cooldown, so you can open with this skill, do an AoE attack, move over to the next skill and do an AoE attack. And you don't need a Siphi, you don't need any other champion to give you that increased defense, because everything comes integrated in his own kit. That's why I'm calling him the new sensation. The passive, whenever an enemy attempts to place a weakened debuff, a decreased defense, or a poison debuff on this champion, reflects them back onto the attacker. If a Madame series will try to land the defense down on us, he's gonna reflect it back, and he's not gonna be kind of like stuck there with the defense down doing less damage, you know? So it's kind of like an automatic cleanse when we're talking about the defense down, poison, or weaken, which is pretty good, and it doesn't seem to have a cooldown. So whenever enemies will try to land these debuffs on him, he's constantly gonna reflect them back. The aura increases ally defense in all battles by 30%. That's actually very solid too, because you can use him as your aura even for arena or whatever you guys want to use him. He's going to be a very powerful CC champion with a double hit and stun, and having decreased speed, decreased crit damage, dropping good damage, having that passive is a very interesting champion. Now, I have mine built on Savage and crit damage. I actually removed the gear from my Solus and gave it all to him. Total stats, we have 41k HP, 6,222 defense, 181 speed, 101 crit rate, 288 crit damage. I haven't really went for a lot of accuracy, guys, because is a damage build. We're gonna try the damage first, and then if we're gonna run him in a Doom Tower wave or anything like that to test the stuns, I'm gonna change it to an accuracy banner just for the purpose of the video. Let me quickly show you the gear for whoever is curious. That's the weapon. Would have been nice to have accuracy instead of that attack. Here would have been nice to have either accuracy or speed instead of the attack, because it doesn't really benefit our champion. We have a crit damage shield from the crit damage set, crit damage gloves, defense chest, defense boots from a crit damage set there. And we have the ring, defense, crit damage. Luckily enough, I got a quad accuracy on it. Pretty crazy. This is so rare. I don't really have many. This might be one. I might have another one like this on my entire account, but yeah, it's not something that's happening very often. Masteries, offense and support tree. You can go with a counter attack if you want to get retribution on him, get tough skin, but I chose to get a bit of extra accuracy, get the right masteries for it. It might help me to decrease the turn meter with the A1 on some champions, and of course Cycle of Magic, and we have Lasting Gifts. Tier 6 we have Helm Smasher, pretty typical masteries for a Nuker. Here we are, guys. Let's see what sort of damage we're getting out of Dragonbane on stage 23. That's where we're normally bringing all our Nukers. We don't really need Siphi in here, but for the purpose of the video, because I want to test both of his skills and attacking the waves on full HP, I'm gonna need Siphi when I'm gonna try his A2. So basically, I'm gonna keep her in here. Plus, I'm gonna give them increased speed, allow them to rotate a bit faster. He is the lead champion because, hey, we're getting 30% increased defense. Is a no-brainer. Of course, you're gonna use it for dungeons. Sometimes in arena, you're not gonna be able to use it all the time in arena, but it's a very good aura because it's for the all battles, you know. So I'm actually not even gonna buff with Siphi now, just to show you that we don't actually need her. Nobody got resisted, which is nice. So let's see the animations as well. We're gonna start with this skill because this buffs increased defense on himself. Okay, he summons Dracomorph. 200k, 222, 203k. This champion has some guts, man. He slayed Dracomorph, and now he has him as a pet. We gotta avenge Dracomorph. This is unacceptable. The damage is pretty good, actually. I'm very impressed with the damage. We managed to one-shot almost everybody on the waves here. Maybe Helm Smasher didn't proc on all of them, but we had some very solid numbers there. Now, if we're gonna rotate again, let's see if we're actually gonna survive the hits here. We can't really do much here, you see, that's kind of like the problem. That's why I want to have Siphi for the A2, because if I'm gonna use it now, it's pretty pointless. But let's use the A1 on this Renegade. 106k, so okay. We should be getting 100k plus or 100k per hit with the A1, bringing us to around 200k. That is still pretty good. Let's go again. This time around, let's start with the A2. So I'm gonna buff with Siphi now because I need to have that increased defense for his A2. We have one champion that got resisted here. Let's see the animations on this skill. Okay, pretty nice. So we actually stunned almost everyone, right? The damage is pretty good. It seems like both of the skills hit equally hard, I would say. This is a double hitter, the other one is a single hitter. In terms of numbers, this does add up slightly more or near the A2. But it's pretty good to see that it's consistent with 2 AoEs, you know. That's very important, actually. I'm gonna back out and I'm gonna come back to use the A1 another time. We are on the test server, guys. Me wasting energy, it doesn't mean nothing. I can literally waste all the gems on energy and have no impact on my account, basically. So we're gonna attack that Renegade with the A1 again. 89k, 81k, okay. This time around we haven't smashed with a Helm Smasher in there. That's why the damage is lower. But it's still pretty good. Pretty impressed with the damage all around. Let's take him in arena, see what we're gonna manage to do with this champion there. So I'm using in arena a lot of Siphi teams, stuff like that. Unfortunately, seems like we are not in platinum, but I still have some of the teams that are available. Anyway, most of the times these teams here are not the best to necessarily test champions on, but we're still gonna give it a go because this will be the only options that we have available anyway. So this is mainly my team that I'm using with a defense-based Nuker, right? Pretty standard, we're going in like this. This would be a bit ineffective here just because of Jingwon, right? So my Chimera is gonna get a bit wrecked, so we're not necessarily gonna attack this team. We can go against this Mitrala, even though we're not gonna CC her most probably, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna take Solus out because, hey, we're not using Solus anymore. And guess what? Because this is a slow team, we can actually use Dragonbane as a leading here. The only problem is how I mentioned the affinity. Duchess is the #1 reviver in the entire game. You're gonna encounter Duchesses in Platinum Arena all the time, and just going with the wrong affinity against her, it just doesn't feel very, very safe, you know? Definitely doesn't feel very safe. So Mitrala can actually cleanse. It's actually beautiful that she went in front of my Madame series, because now we can do that. And I'm actually gonna start with the A2 on him. I wanna have the double hit. Bang. Pretty solid. Swift parry procced on these champions. Mitrala somehow managed to stay on top there. The good part about it is, let's just say we wouldn't use a Chimera in here. Well, Dragonbane has 2 AoEs, which actually makes him very, very nice, you know. That Swift parry, the RNG of Raid Shadow Legends. Can actually put the speed higher with that. Duchess is dead meat now. And we can summon Dracomorph. Again, Mitrala survived. Even though she has all these buffs up, she shouldn't really survive them. She shouldn't really survive. Sometimes I feel like is a bug with Mitrala. Regardless what champions I'm using against her, it seems like she has an insane damage reduction for literally no reason. I don't know why it's happening, but it does happen sometimes. I find it pretty strange. Let's go again against this team. So we have a Ursaga in here too. Beautiful. Mitrala is gonna go in front of us as well. So she buffed. Even Candy took his turn in front. That could have been a bit dangerous. Because if he was one-shotting our team, oof. This time around, we're gonna start with Dracomorph. Let's summon our pet. Okay, so weak hit on Duchess. You see, that's kind of like the main problem that I'm talking about. That's why I'm not a big fan here. Let's do that again just to get the Madame's A3 up and running, strip all these buffs. And now we have no more reaction. Hopefully we're gonna get that Duchess down. We're gonna go with the same skill again. Okay, no more weak hit, but Swift parry procced again. That should be fine. And now we have another AoE attack from this champion to help us clean the mess here, you know. That Candlephone should die, of course, if it doesn't proc a Swift parry as well, which I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. Okay, everybody died. That Ursaga survived. Seems like she is on a bolster set. That's fine. Beautiful. It does deal pretty good damage. I'm impressed with the damage that it does. My only concern for Arena is the affinity. Unfortunately, you see Duchess. This team doesn't have a Duchess, but I think Cold Brew is actually faster than me, so this won't work against him. What if we're not gonna bring in a Madame series? Let's just do something else here for Cold Brewski. We can actually do this. I do hope I have gear on all my champions. Okay. You see, I knew he was faster. I knew he was faster. So I'm gonna buff to get that increased speed, put them all to sleep. Okay. Come on. Bring in that Dracomorph, rag them all. Beautiful. So the damage is pretty good though. We had no Duchess in here. Mortu Macab is actually at the very top of Arena right now. He's kind of like the meta, the GOAT. Everybody's using a Mortu Macab in their defense, at least for Platinum Arena. The very high top. 99% of the people. Just because he brings so much RNG to the fight, you know? So that's another Spirit champion that you really don't want to add on your list with this one, you know? Let's do another fight, guys. Unfortunately, I cannot do Faction Wars because the factions are all closed. I'm not sure. Plaria might have a day off today because nothing on the test server is actually up to date. The Doom Tower, the Faction Wars, we're still in Gold Arena, so I feel like they might be having a day off today. They've been pretty quiet in Discord too. So let's give it a go here. Let's try to use somebody else instead of Sifi, since we mentioned that we don't actually need a champion in our team. We're still gonna use Kymar maybe just to help us with a reset in case if needed. Or actually, no, you know what? We're not gonna use Kymar either. Let's completely change the team around. He could be a bit of an issue. I'm actually gonna try to use a Lady Kimi maybe. So let's get a Lady Kimi here. Like that, I have increased speed, I have increased accuracy. I feel like a Warlord just to lock especially this Cardiel. And then I could probably use a Madame series, because we do need to have a champion that strips some buffs. And just to make sure we have enough accuracy and everything is on play, we're gonna use that Lady Kimi too. It seems like I don't have a blessing on my Madame series, so we can do that. Okay, it's a Stone Skin Cardiel. Interesting. Well, he's locked now. Stone Skin, pretty pointless on him. So we're actually gonna bring Dracomorph. Summon him. Increase defense. Bang. We hit reaction on every single champion. Sad days. Reaction on every single champion. That is actually pretty crazy. The good part about it is that he can actually survive a Candraphone. We do have a defense down on attack down on that candy, sorry. But he survived. So that's pretty good actually to see. Okay. Let's put the speed back on actually, because it feels like it's pretty slow. And I wanna try to use his other skill now. Can we one-shot them now? They still have defense down, a double hitter. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. The only one that survived was Duchess, seems like it. But the rest went down. And hey, the good part is that you can bring his own stuff in here. Maybe we got a weak hit with his A2. He does have a double hitter for that Duchess. But this is Dragonbane, guys. A pretty good DPSer. Pros with him is that you don't need Sifi. He has the aura. He has a double AoE skills. He has a stun. Everything can come in handy pretty nice, including his passive. The cons are the affinity. Sorry, my bad. Because you're gonna find a lot of spirit champions in the game. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think of Dragonbane? Are you going to try to avenge Dracomorph? I still find that unacceptable. But that was all for this video, guys. Much love. Appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.